Wednesday evening at almost 9 o'clock at night, which is so crazy to me. I was just out here pulling the trash cans out. I've got the recycling bin here. It's almost 9 o'clock. Like, this is so crazy to me. This is one of the things that takes a while to get used to. Coming from California to Washington, but I thought since I was over here, I would take the opportunity to give a little garden update, since that's all I talk about pretty much is gardening and chickens. But it's kind of exciting. I pulled the netting off because I had to inspect some of the asparagus. We're missing 2, one from each variety that didn't come up, which is no big deal because the place I bought them from guarantees them. So if they don't come up, they will replace them, which is awesome. But check it out. Green stuff growing out of the ground. This is one of the last, not the last, but one of the last little asparaguses. Asparagi? What is the plural of asparagus? To sprout. But you can see all of these. This is the one that's kind of didn't come up. Or there might be 2 actually. But look at these. Look at how pretty they are. Who would have thought? I mean, I guess anybody that knows what asparagus looks like, but this is what they look like when they're babies and spindly and first starting to grow. They're so cute. So, oh yeah, no, it is only one, because here's another one that is, wait, can you see it? Just barely sprouting next to these bigger ones, which is crazy. The rhubarb is not doing terribly. It's also not doing phenomenally well, but it's not dead, so yay. These potatoes, ow. Oh, I just scratched myself, sorry. These potatoes on this edge here were planted last at least a week, if not more, behind these ones. And these ones over here are all seed potatoes, meaning potatoes that I bought to plant. These ones that are exploding and planted way too close to the asparagus, by the way, are Yukon Golds from Costco that started sprouting, and I just put them in the ground. So note to self, maybe don't buy seed potatoes if you don't need to. So yeah, those are doing really, really good. The rest of them are doing relatively well. Also, I would have to, I think this row right here is a fingerling variety, and these other ones, I can't remember what they are. But you can see there's like a couple, 1 or 2 that were planted way too close to the edge of the bed where I put the rhubarb, but the rest of them are doing pretty well. Down here we have, here's one little, whoops, let's get rid of the grass. One little asparagus, 2 little asparagus, and then we've got some of the bigger ones. That's one that definitely didn't make it. And then the rest of these are looking good. So I'm gonna get this all folded up and out of here. I don't think we really need it now. The critters don't seem to be paying it much attention at all. So, oh, sorry, I'm trying to get this out of the ground. So yeah, still got a pile of compost there, but that is not a bad thing. I might actually use it to do a little hilling with these potatoes. But we'll see. I might just mulch them with hay, or straw rather. These 2 trees are still not looking fantastic, but the blueberries, on the other hand, are looking pretty good. I'm just pausing to do a quick little bee check, but it's late and cold, so they're probably inside. We've got tons of berries. These ones are pretty little, but they might plump up as we get closer to harvest. Like I said, everything could stand to be pruned and fertilized for next year. I'll fertilize them again this year, but we got a lot on here as well. This one's not doing too bad for a teeny one. These berries are much bigger. I can't remember which variety this is. And these little guys are exploding all of a sudden. So yay. I've got to put some bigger protection around them. Actually, what we're going to do is, I don't know if you can see it from here, but over there next to the shed, there's a bunch of rolled wire fencing. We picked that up from somebody local who was getting rid of it, horse fencing, whatever they were using it for. And we are going to put like a row here and a row on this side and kind of box it in with some T-posts to also try to help keep the deer out of here once everything starts getting closer and ripe. We have, I can't remember if I've shown this, but I planted 2 beautiful fig trees. There's another one over here. Pretty sure I did show this already. 2 different varieties. Lovely. I've got a silage tarp down, doing an experiment. Just gonna let that sit there for a while and bake in the sun and see if I can kill the grass right there and just plant some random wildflowers. Mostly just playing with killing off the grass and seeing how that works. Everything over here is pretty much looking the same. The lingonberries look decent. The currant, no, what is this? I think it's a currant. I can't remember. I've got to find the little stick. Now I'm forgetting what this is too. Gooseberry? Something like that. But this is the most exciting. This is the little wee blackberry that had no leaves on it and I thought was a goner. It's not a goner. It's coming back. And this one is doing great. Like it just leafed out all of a sudden. I have got to do a ton of like weed management around here. These little guys are thimbleberries. They are not looking great, but they're looking a little better than they were, so I'm hopeful. This one's actually a little bit better. And then we've got our huckleberries that I don't know if this is what huckleberries look like, but they don't look the healthiest to me. But then again, what do I know? This is the Josta or Yasta berry, whichever you know it as. And the elderberry is recovering quite well from the bunny or deer damage that it got. Looking over at the bees, do I see any bees? I don't think so. No, they are all inside. We have had so much rain and I'm a little concerned about the bees swarming as soon as the weather warms up a little bit. So tomorrow I'm going to take a little lunch break and do a hive inspection and just see how everybody is. I will go over to the green stalks and see what's going on over there. While I'm walking over here, I did a little check on everything and pretty much all the trees have at least a little bit of fruit on them, except for maybe this one right in front. So that's exciting. What is also exciting is my dahlias are starting to look like plants and not just random little things barely sprouting. So that is super fun. I still have 2 more that aren't coming up yet. One of them is apparently somewhat persnickety, if you will. So I'm just being patient with it. These are all the mints. This is my apple mint, which is crazy. I just have it growing wild everywhere. Lemon balm started to explode, which is good. This is grapefruit mint, which is delicious. And these are some comfrey that I dug up. This one's gonna be okay for sure. This one will be okay too. This one, I'm not so sure about, but it'll probably come back. Oh wait, yeah, there's already green right there. It's gonna come back. So that's exciting. I have officially, anybody that knows, I brought this kumquat tree with me from California and then proceeded to just kill it. Very sad. We still have our beautiful blooming comfrey out here. Look at those spikes on the flowers. They're so cool looking. We've still got a ton of apple mint growing everywhere. I'm gonna harvest some more in a little bit. My garlic is not looking great. I think I might have already been, yeah, this is just like floppy and bad. I think I might have already been overwatering it a little bit. I did a little bit of research and then we just got dumped on like so much rain. So we'll see how it does. Last but not least, we have the wild and crazy front yard. After all the rain, it looks like a jungle. I'm being a little bit quiet just because, like I said, it's 9 o'clock and Adam isn't feeling well, so he's trying to get some sleep and I don't want the dogs to start barking at me. But the onions all look, again, okay. I think I'm probably overwatering them too, and then all the rain. Broccoli, not so much. Chives, still doing pretty good. I've been harvesting a ton of chive blossoms. That was a spider, yuck. I don't like spiders, but look at this little guy. Interesting. Spiders are okay when they're outside. I don't like them in my house. Yeah, been harvesting a ton of chive blossoms and starting to make some chive blossom vinegar, so that's fun. Oregano, still just kicking butt. Garlic, not so much. These are beans. I don't remember which kind, but they're already starting to flower a little bit. I'm not a big fan of curly parsley anyway, but this literally hasn't gotten any bigger since I planted it. It's very strange to me. And that, I believe, is Swiss chard that is also not growing. So it might just be too cold thus far. But do you see what I see? Do you see red things all over this green stalk? I almost said tomatoes. Our strawberries are starting to come up, and I'm taking off runners wherever I see them because, again, I don't want more plants right now. I want fruit. By tomorrow, I'm pretty sure these ones will be ready to harvest. Look at those. I'm so excited. I've been picking off little itty bitty teeny tiny ones off of this plant. I don't know what this is. I got a couple of bare root pine berries that never fruited. You can see those tiny, tiny little berries. These are the biggest ones right here that have come off of this plant. It did the same thing last year. It just put out these itty bitty little berries that never seemed to ripen. They would go from this to like mushy in like a split second, which is, they never change color or anything. So I'm wondering if they are pine berries, but the other pine berries that I've grown haven't looked like this. They've looked like regular strawberry plants. So I am not sure, but we are hopefully going to have a ton of strawberries. I don't know if anybody else has ever dealt with this. This is, apparently it's hard to see on camera, but it's like a foam, and it's apparently a little bug that like makes this foam. They call it like a frog spit or something. I don't know. Anyway, it's gross. I keep touching the plants and getting it all over me, but it's just like a protective thing for these little bugs. These are cucumbers that are looking pretty good. We've got a squash up here that's looking meh. Celery, also meh. This is a early jalapeno that looks like it's trying to potentially fruit already. I'm gonna pick those off because I don't want it to fruit just yet. I want it to get a little bit bigger. This was a sugar baby watermelon. Didn't make it. We've got radishes. I planted beets in here. I swear I did. But I do not see anything that looks beet-like. Pretty sure these are just all radishes. English breakfast radishes, the best ever. These are tomatillos that my neighbor gave me, and I'm sorry, look at this one. This thing is like thriving. Here's another one. And then I have planted some seeds that I am not terribly hopeful. These are some tomatoes. I was going to come out here and mark which ones I had planted, but I didn't. But these are micro dwarf tomato varieties that I got some seeds and put those in there. But I did it way too soon or too late, depending on how you look at it. Too late for in-ground and probably too soon for seed. Here we have some carrots in various development stages. We've got some little teeny tiny ones that don't look so great, and then we've got a couple that are like just killing it. So these will definitely give us carrots. These little guys, I'm not so sure. We will see, but it's so interesting to me how, like, same circumstances, same planting medium, everything else the same, but like teeny tiny. Some lettuce, not doing particularly well. Some kale doing decently. More apple mint just kind of randomly coming back. Lavender, so excited. Didn't have high hopes for that. I think this is more apple mint. This is, oh, what is this? This is Greek oregano. Also, this is parsley. Oh, I didn't even notice that this had come up. That's exciting. I think this is flat leaf parsley. And this is cilantro down here that already started trying to bolt. So we'll see how it does. And then just some random stuff down here that's coming back from last year. This is sage, I think. Oops, I just broke that. Yeah, but that's it. Like, you know, things aren't doing horribly. They're not doing fabulously, but we're doing it. And it's all an experiment this year, so it's fine. And man, we really need to mow this front lawn. I don't know if you saw these blocks, but I have these here because I'm going to take these all apart, level the blocks out with sand, and then put the green stalks on the blocks. That will make it easier to weed whack around them, and I will feel a little bit more comfortable. We've been having some really high winds lately, so I'll just feel more comfortable if they're on a more stable surface and level. So yeah, there's the garden update. I hope everybody's having a fabulous week. We've got yet another deer making their way through the property. There were 3 more earlier. I don't know if this is one of them or a different one, but I love that they just make it theirs. Good morning. It is about to be scorcher Sunday morning, and for, well, yesterday and this morning, this is what I've been working on. We have soaker hose around the plants, and then feed hose running between. So we've got little soaker hose loops around every plant with just regular non-perforated feed hose between each one. They're all kind of stapled down. And now the test. Is that pole tight enough? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Here goes nothing. I have a couple things that I have to work out. I need to get probably a quick connect for these because neither one of these spin. So that's going to make it hard to connect. But oh my gosh, here we go. Turning the water on. I don't remember which way it turns on. There we go. Oh. Okay, wait, we've got a leak. Okay, well, I'm just gonna let that run for now because I want to see if we're getting water to the other ones. We might not be with that leak though. Shoot. Okay, oh wait, no, we are getting water. It's obviously probably not gonna be as much as we should be getting just because there's a leak over there and it's a long run. But it is working. Okay, I'm gonna try to see if I can plug up that leak real quick. Even though this is leaking, I'm gonna let it run for a little bit because it does take a while. This is a really long run, so it's gonna take quite a while to... Bird, get off my blueberries. Get out of here. No blueberries for you. Anyway, you can see I did the same thing over here. I've got a little bit extra over here that I need to cut back. I made them a little too long. And then over here, instead of doing soaker hose, I did drip tape. The only thing I'm waiting to get is the main 1/2-inch line to plug all of these into, but we've got drip tape run down and a little bit of a grid. So we'll have the same basic setup. We'll have a feeder, like a main 1/2-inch line here with a hose bib, a pressure regulator, and probably a quick connect. Plug the hose in and just let it water. This is very exciting. It's going to be so much less hands-on time for me. Yay. While I was getting up to that, Adam has started. He's super happy right now. I'm sure this is exactly what he wanted to be doing on his relaxing Sunday, but there's no such thing as relaxing Sundays when you're building up a property. Anyway, he is clearing out all the wood from the tree trimming that was done here. God, that branch looks like it's going down. Maybe it's just angled that way. Anyway, he's clearing all this wood out of here because he desperately wants to mow under the tree. And then he also did this for me. We were borrowing a friend's tool. He needs the tool back today, so we got this done, and that is pulling away all the grass in a small circle around the tree. I've mentioned before that I want to plant at least a few minor guilds under the trees, so this is the first step in that. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to leave that dirt bare. I'm going to put some cardboard down. Oh, that reminds me, I have to get some proper staples for that that'll hold it down. So I'm going to put some cardboard down, fertilize the trees again first, put some cardboard down, give everything a good water, put some probably pine shavings down because we don't have wood chips right now. I still have to cut back all those sucklings. But I'm going to get all of that done eventually for all these trees. And then just little by little start planting some goodies under there. That comfrey's right there. I may move it or I may just leave it there. Just a couple of little kind of low ground cover, a couple, maybe nitrogen fixers, a couple little things just to help support and bring nutrients to these trees. Wow, he went wide on that one. That's cool. Kind of wish they were all that wide. But that's fantastic. I'm so glad that that's done, even though it means a crap ton more work. But yep, making progress. It is going to be hot today. It's going to be in the mid 80s, which may not sound bad, but there's something about being up this far north that I still haven't quite figured out, or at least my brain isn't wrapping around it. Every time you look at like the real feel or the, I forget what they call it. It says whatever the temperature it is, and then it says what it feels like. It's minimum 10 degrees hotter. So if it says it's going to be 85 today, the real feel will be 95, and they will not be wrong. I don't know if that's like relative humidity and all that stuff, but oh, in other fun news, sorry, I'm squirreling, but in other fun news, where did it go? I found one pear forming. Oh wait, this isn't the pear tree. This is the one that's not fruiting. I mean, I think that is a pear tree, but that's not the one that I found one on. It's over here. Let's see if I can find it without staring straight into the sun. There it is. Okay, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let me see if I can zoom in. I can't see it from here because the sun's right in my eyes, but oh, where is it? There it is. You see it? That little itty bitty pear forming forming right there. So that's exciting. The apple trees are loaded with apples. That one's probably a goner. Cherry trees are starting to get little baby cherries. Not a ton. Nothing is like fruiting insanely except for the apple trees. We're probably gonna have more apples than we know what to do with, which I am not complaining about. This is not fruiting, or is it? I can't even tell. No, this one doesn't look like it's fruiting. This is a cherry tree also, unless it's really up high. Nope, it is not that I can see, but the apples are doing great. And then over here, we also have, oh, there's already some little apples on the ground. Interesting. This one is also cherry. Sorry for the bouncing camera. And there is fruit, but man, is it way up high, which I think means the birds are gonna get most of it, probably. I can't even see it right now. Oh, here we go. There's a couple up in there. You can see them kind of orangey. And then over here, again, more apples. Apples everywhere. But here, the heck is that? You can see little baby plums forming. So that's all really exciting as well. I literally almost tripped over this as I walked away from the plum tree. This is the kind of stuff you find when you're digging up in the ground here. I have no idea what it is, but it looks like it's metal maybe, and pretty solid. Maybe hard plastic, I don't know. Weird. This place is weird with all the trash around. I am back outside. I went and got some of the things that I needed. And this is still not working the way I want it to. Obviously, this is right where the inlet is, right here. And this is getting a ton of water, like literally it's gushing out of here. But as soon as we come over here, this better. And then as soon as we go to the next one, kinda. And it just goes down from there. Like we're getting a little tiny bit of water down here. I don't even know if this one is coming through yet. I don't think it is. Nope. So yeah, if anybody has any suggestions, I am all ears because I was convinced this was gonna work. I don't know if I need like bigger tubing in between the soaker hoses. Like instead of using micro tubing, maybe I need bigger tubing. I don't think 1/2 inch, that would be kind of crazy. Plus I would need a ton of micro tubing adapters, but that's fine. Yeah, so I'm gonna let, only thing is I don't want to overwater the fig, especially in the heat. So I'm actually going to turn this off for now. But yeah, this is just a little disappointing because we are not getting water. Even, that's only, let's see, the fig, 2, 3, 4, like to the 5th plant. We're not even getting water. So that's a bummer. I forgot to bring it out here. I did get some 1/2 inch tubing for the drip tape grid down there, so I'm going to install that. This is a bummer though. I do think as soon as I get the rest of the soaker hose in, that this setup will probably work for the trees over there because it's just the 2 of them, so I can't imagine it would be too bad. I might get a T connector so that the water will flow evenly to both. I don't know, we'll see. Just a tad disappointed here. It is 9:05, I think, at night. Today is the longest day of the year, apparently. We just took the dogs on a little walkabout, but I wanted to show you. Adam was able to clear all of that wood and get it mowed over here. Very exciting. There is a tree stump in that tuft of grass and weeds that we need to pull out. But oddly enough, this area being mowed makes it feel so much bigger over here. It's crazy. I have to kind of watch where I'm walking to because Coco did some business over here somewhere, as they like to do. But the reason that I'm actually filming at 9 o'clock at night is because I've been kind of keeping an eye on this big tree, wondering what it was and what to do with it, because it is pretty ginormous. And as we were walking, I was saying, gosh, we really need to do something about this tree, like just trim it up from the bottom or something. And then I came over here and noticed this. Whatever they are, I'm obviously gonna take a picture and look it up, but it's got fruit everywhere, whatever it is. And it's very, there's some hiding in there, there's some right there. I don't see a bunch up high, which is kind of interesting. Oh yeah, there's some up there. But it's very, very citrusy. They're these kind of oblong fruits, and they seem to grow. Where's that little cluster? Well, looks like Adam pulled a couple off, but they seem to grow in pairs like that. So if anybody has any idea what this is before I'm able to look it up, I'm definitely interested. So please let me know. But it's like, I mean, they're everywhere. Look. Yep, they grow in pairs. And this is a big tree. Yep, they're everywhere. Last time I looked at this tree, there wasn't fruit everywhere. So I have no idea what it is. But what's really, really exciting, I think I filmed this the other day, but now it is official that is Rainier cherry with 2 cherries on it. I'm gonna get 2 Rainier cherries this summer. It's very exciting. Okay, I'm being a dork. Another update, I have got to come out here tomorrow and check my bees. I think it's a pretty decent chance that they may have swarmed. There are still bees here, which was kind of a something I wasn't aware of. I thought if they swarmed, they all went bye-bye, but apparently not. But it is a pretty decent chance that they may have swarmed. I'm gonna come up and have a listen, see what I can hear. There's definitely a little bee right there, but I'm not hearing a ton of activity. So, oh, spider webs everywhere. Yeah, but I'll be in here tomorrow, late morning. I have a day off tomorrow, Monday. So I'll be out here checking that out and just seeing what's going on with them. If they did swarm, I'm gonna be bummed, but I feel like, what the heck? There's a local bee group that I'm part of that I think I could probably get some more bees from. So hopefully all is not lost. But yeah, hope everybody has a great Sunday evening at 9, probably 15 by this point. Sitting here watering my garden, and I've got a little visitor right on the other side of the fence. Sweet girl. I am out in the big garden to hopefully get a few things connected for the drip tape irrigation manifold that I put together over here. I'm still waiting on a couple of parts that I need, but while I'm over here, I thought I would give a little bit of an update on that. The tree, where did my dog go? Oh, there he is, over by the bees. Smart dog. This tree that I discovered with fruit on it is a walnut tree. It's either a regular walnut or a black walnut. I couldn't really decipher just by what I found online. Rev, come here. But yeah, it's a walnut tree, which is not exactly exciting because walnut trees put out whatever it is, hormone, something toxic that's a growth inhibitor for other plants. So it is not currently affecting all the things that I have growing next to it, but and I'm not particularly worried about the potatoes because those will be harvested, but long term it might not be good for the asparagus, and I may end up either having to dig it up and move it or dig it up and put it into raised beds. So just like build up some raised beds here that it could fill out, because it is essentially the leaves, the husks of the fruit, and the roots of the tree that produce, I think it's called longnan, something like that. I can't remember what it's called. But so kind of a bummer. Anything you plant, hi Revy, near it is supposed to be like 25 feet away, which those trees are probably not quite 25 feet, probably not even. And considering I want to make this whole area a garden, that's not gonna do. So it may have to be raised beds, or we may just have to cut this thing way back. The problem is if you cut it down, it doesn't necessarily stop that stuff from being produced by the roots, at least not right away. So that is the current situation. Now I'm going to work on trying to put the end pieces on this feeder tube. We'll see how that goes.